What is up, YouTube? Back with another YouTube video, and today we're here with a Bay of Drowned Wishes Legend Lost Sector guide for Season of the Witch. And to find this, go to your Destinations tab, and then go to the upper right side here on the Dreaming City. Spawn in at Devilian Mist, and then when you spawn in, all you gotta do is turn around, and you're gonna see this Lost Sector icon right behind you. This is gonna have the banner as well as the icon on the map, so if you don't see any of those, just go through here and you're gonna have to complete it normally to unlock legend and master difficulty. So you're gonna see I'm gonna just keep running forward this way, and after we reach a certain part of the lost sector here, we are gonna enter it. So you can see around right here, I believe is gonna pop up. Yep, Bay of Drowned Wishes. You can see here there's some enemies. Just go complete it normally, kill the boss, loot the chest at the end, and you'll unlock legend and master difficulty. But once you got that done, that's when you're able to go and then replay it. So we're going to go over here now and go over the current modifiers we have active for today's lost sector. So all I have to do is wrap my way back around here, and we are back at the entrance. Now for our modifiers, we have shielded foes, you'll face combatants with void shields. Legend modifiers are lock, loadout, and extra shields. Equipment locked, limited revives, you're going to face overload and unstoppable champions. Arc threat, 25% increase to incoming arc damage. Raider shield, Scorn Raiders now have void shields. Overcharge weapons, weapon overcharges from the seasonal artifact are active in this activity. Kinetic weapons do increased damage when your subclass element matches an active surge. Strand Surge, 25% bonus to outgoing strand damage. Solar Surge, 25% bonus to outgoing solar damage. And then Overcharged Sniper Rifle with 25% bonus to sniper rifle damage. Now, if completed solo, exotic leg armor is rare, enhancement cores are uncommon, and recommended power 1830, but 1810 and above you should be just fine. So let's get into the loadout. Now, into the loadout, we got Strand subclass with Silk Strike and Marksman Dodge with Triple Jump, Threaded Spike, and Threading Grenades. Then we have Widow's Silk with Threaded Spectre, and then Thread of Generation with Thread of Evolution, Thread of Binding, and Thread of Continuity. Now for my first weapon here, we're going to be running Riptide, and this is just for Unstoppable Fusion Rifle. We're going to use this to stun our Unstoppable champions, and then we're going to just pretty much use that only for that. This can be used, I believe, for the Overload as well. As you can see, Stasis slow effects will stun an Overload champion, so this could be your do-it-all weapon and you change your secondary. But I'm just using this solely for the Unstoppable champion. And then my Le Monarch here is going to be for the Overload champion, and it has the void, poison arrows, which are really good. I do have the catalyst that gives unrelenting, so that's gonna, heal me when I'm one shot and stuff like that after I get a kill. But this, like I said, is mainly for the Overload champions. Now for my heavy, Circular Logic, and for this, I'm mainly running it just because of the increased heavy that I can carry, as well as the strand damage, as well as the Nanotech Tracer Rocket bonus that it gets from the seasonal artifact mod that I'm gonna talk about later. But just all around really good gun in my opinion. It's nice to have one, and I have Hatchling that way. The precision to final blows are rapidly defeating targets with non-precision weapon. Final blows spawn a threadling at the target's location, and just think of the threadling as extra damage, so that's pretty much the only reason I have that. Now for the helmet, we got Ashes to Assets, gain bonus super energy on grenade kills, and then I have Strand Siphon, Void Siphon, and Strand Siphon. Now I'm gonna be honest with you here, you can make changes. So when I show you these siphon mods, you're going to see Harmonic Siphon. This is rapid strand weapon final blows create orbs of power. And then we got the Void / Strand dual siphon mod, which is rapid void weapon final blows create an orb of power. And then rapid strand weapon final blows can create an orb of power. Now depending on which weapon you're going to use the most or something like that, you can make these changes. However, I just left mine like this because I knew I was going to use the Strand LMG to get some kills on AI, as well as just, if I ever needed to drop orbs, I knew if I switched to that weapon, I was going to generate orbs. And then I knew, since I'm using the Void Bow, that's what I'm going to be using. Your Stasis weapon won't get orbs to drop since you don't have Stasis Siphon. But, like I said, if you're going to be running Stasis Siphon, then maybe, keep Harmonic Siphon and switch from Void or something like that. Just make the changes where you feel it's necessary. But for me, this is what I ran, and I got it done pretty quickly. Now for the gauntlets / arms, we have Firepower. Your grenade final blows create orbs of power, and grenade kickstart. When your grenade energy is fully expended, you gain grenade energy. Then additionally, your armor charge is consumed, and you gain additional grenade energy for each stack. Then we have Fastball, which increases grenade throw distance. And again, it's not anything too crazy. You can see if I take Fastball off, it's the only option, so I use it. Now for the chest piece, this is where I have my damage resistant mods, and you can see we got 2 arc mods here, and pretty much you want to have these on because the unstoppable champions do the arc damage. The Screebs, I believe, are arc damage, so there's just arc damage all around in the Lost Sector. But there's also solar from the boss and other enemies, so just keep that in mind. I did it with two arc, 1 solar, but make changes however you feel is necessary. Now for the legs, this is where I'm running the exotic Star Eater scales, and the main perk here is Feast of Light. Pick up orbs to overcharge your super pretty much, and it's really just useful because it helps you ensure you're gonna get that one time kill. You don't have to worry too much about, oh, I'm gonna use my super and do half of the boss's health and have to worry about the other half of my heavy or something. You're pretty much always gonna end up getting the boss kill when you're using Feast of Light for Star Eater scales. And how this works is you're gonna pick up orbs to charge your super, and then after that, when your super bar is full, you can pick up 4 extra orbs to then overcharge your super and do increased damage with it. That way you're doing maximum damage. So that's why I got Star Eater scales. And then we have Better Already. Your health begins to regenerate immediately after picking up an Orb of Power. And then we have Strand Weapon Surge. Your Strand Weapons gain a small bonus to damage while you have any armor charge. Your armor charge not decays over time. Then we have a Void Weapon Surge, which is your Void Weapons gain a small bonus to damage while you have any armor charge, and your armor charge not decays over time. So you can see Strand and Void surges, so my Strand LMG and my Void Bow will do increased damage when I pick up an Orb of Power, and I am generating orbs with a Strand or a Void weapon. So fortunately, my Fusion Rifle isn't going to do increased damage because when I pick up orbs, Stasis isn't going to get a buff, only my Strand and Void weapons. But again, if you know you're going to use Riptide more than the bow, for example, then change Void Weapon Surge to Stasis Weapon Surge. But again, that's just changes that you have to make. But now going into the Cloak, 2-time Dilation mod to Decaying Armor Charge now has a longer duration. And then Bomber, which reduces grenade cooldown when using your class ability. Now getting into the Artifact, these are the mods you're going to want to have. You're going to want to have the Unstoppable Fusion right here. That way you can use this to stun unstoppable champions. Then we got the Void / Strand Siphon combo. This combines the Void and Strand Siphon mods into one. Then Origin Perk Specialization 1. It greatly improves the benefits provided by the Head Rush and Nanotech Tracer Rockets, as well as other Origin traits. But all we care about is Nanotech Tracer Rockets because that's what our LMG has. So it's going to increase the damage by a little bit. It's not anything too crazy. It's not going to one-shot the boss or anything, but it's still something nice to have since I know I'm going to be using that LMG. Now, we have the Tangles perk here, and it's not the best because we're not really using the LMG to kill every single ad. You're going to see it in the boss room that I do end up taking advantage of this, but it's not anything too crazy. I would say if you are going to be using your abilities a lot, if you are going to be generating a lot of Tangles, then go for it. But in my case, I was using the Void Bow more than I was using the Strand Weapon, so I didn't really use it that much, but it's definitely an option that you can have on. Then we have Elemental Fury. When stunned, champions take bonus damage from your abilities and elemental orb damage. This is really useful because let's say you stun a champion, you throw your Strand melee, that's going to do increased damage. Your Threlling grenades, that's going to do increased damage while they're stunned, so just keep that in mind. Refreshing pickups, picking up a Tangle or elemental orb grants energy to your least powered ability. Again, this Lost Sector is super easy and super fast that you can get it done without having to worry about too much about these pickups / perks here, but it's just nice to know that way if you are running something different than, like for example, let's say instead of Riptide, you're using a Strand Fusion Rifle, then you're going to be generating a lot more Tangles because of the Strand Weapon Final Blows, right? So again, if you are using one, this is going to work for you, but I use the Stasis one, so it's not really going to be that helpful. But just know I have this on, and I also have Rapid Fire Ranger. Rapid precision hits against a distant combatant weakens them for a short duration. And then Elemental Munitions, combatant final blows with Tangles or Elemental Orbs have a chance to drop special or heavy ammo. So that's kind of all the perks I have there. Make changes wherever you feel is necessary. But now we're going to get into the gameplay. Now, loading into the Lost Sector, you're going to see right here, we are going to start off kind of in this cave area. Use this to your advantage and kind of pick off the enemies here with your bow. Now, you're going to notice that Unstoppable Champion there. I recommend getting rid of these Screebs as well as all the other red health bar enemies first. And you're going to notice here, you're going to think everything is clear. And as you push up forward, there is going to be more enemies. So I threw my decoy down. And I was mainly just trying to get rid of those red health bar enemies. And you can see I go for the stun. And you do have to let it charge up a little bit. I did forget about that. That's why you saw me shoot that first shot with the fusion rifle. But all you gotta do is wait like 2 seconds, and then it's gonna say unstoppable shot ready, and then you can just shoot your unstoppable round from your fusion rifle and stun the champion. So you can see pretty easy kill right there. After you stun him, just switch to the LMG, get the easy kill. But after that, just pick off all these Screeb enemies, that way they don't blow you up. Now as you move up, you're gonna see another unstoppable champion. I use my decoy. By the way, when I was recording this, I didn't have my arc resistant mods on prior. I put them on after the fact, so when you saw the loadout, that was after the gameplay. But you can see I am taking a lot of arc damage, but that's mainly because I only had one arc mod instead of 2. But you can see easy kill there, and then I'm just using my Threlling to try to kill all those Screebs and get rid of them. But you can see some of them are still there, and I went and I just kept using the Void Bow. And then make sure you're picking up orbs, by the way. You can see I pick up that orb. I'm at Feast of Light 1, so I just need to pick up 3 more. You can see I'm getting rid of that Scorn Sniper up there with the Void Shield. That's the only one, I believe, unless I'm wrong. But you can see I'm trying to get rid of those red Hellfire enemies. I don't care for the Overload right now. And I'm also setting off these traps. That way, if I do have to run away from the Screebs that are going to spawn later on, I know it's safe, at least this way. So you can see I stunned him by accident. It was just a poison arrow that spread to him. And I was trying to get the kill on that red Hellfire enemy that was hiding. So I shot the champion and got the splash damage with the bow. Now pretty much all I was doing was waiting to see if more enemies are going to spawn. I knew at some point another unstoppable champion spawns, but I didn't know when. But you can see more Screebs. Le Monarch is very easy to get rid of them with. But you can see the Overload. I go for the stun just so he can leave me alone, and I get rid of these Screeb enemies. And I'm still looking out for the unstoppable champion. But I get rid of the Screebs. And then I'm like, you know what, screw it. And then when I went to get the kill, you can see more Screeb spawned. So I knew I had to get rid of this because it was going to make them all immune. I get rid of that. Then he throws like this tether at me, so I knew I had to get rid of this now. So I did that. And then pretty easy, just using Le Monarch there. Now this is where I go for the kill. You can see I get the stun. And I should have hit the crit. I was shooting like the body, but you can see the head is like right there. Then I end up doing some damage. I switch over. And then I ended up switching back to the LMG. And you can see here I ended up getting the kill. Pretty easy. And you can see Screebs actually spawned behind me and everything. And I was anticipating that. So I knew I had to run, because I didn't want to die here. But pretty much just pick them all off from a distance. And you can see on my left a bunch of more Screebs. When you see these Screebs on your left, that means the unstoppable champion spawned. But you can see here, there's just a whole lot of them. I'm playing this from a distance just because if they all, you know, do that like chain detonation type thing next to you, it's pretty much going to kill you. So you can see I keep moving backwards. Le Monarch is doing a really good job of just, you know, ad control with the poison darts and everything, or the poison arrows. And we get rid of all the Screebs, pick up all these orbs. I'm already at Feast of Light times 4, but the armor charge is worth it. And I knew that this champion was the last one. So you can see I aim, I wait for the unstoppable shot to charge, I dodge. I kind of fumbled that just because my heavy wasn't reloaded. But you can see I go for the, you know, spam right here with the stasis. And then I end up getting the stun and just use my LMG here. Get the finish. And then after that, that should be the end of that. You can now go behind where the Screebs are spawning inside this cave. And this is going to be the boss room pretty much. You are going to have some red Hellfire enemies and stuff to kill before you get to the boss, but you can see here, I stop and I shoot these explosive servitor, you know, I don't know if they're bodies, I don't know what's the right word for them, but make sure you destroy those because I've had times where those solar enemies will spam attacks. You can see like this guy jumped up, he'll just spam the fire attack right next to me and one of those will blow up and hit me, so I just went and got rid of them first. And then you are going to have an overload champion, as you can see. I'm just waiting to see if more enemies are going to spawn. So I run up to the overload here. And then I get the stun and just use the LMG. You can see I do like half damage. I switch back to the bow. Or it's a little more than half. And then I go. And I know I was sitting right next to this servitor thing. So I was like, let me get out the way here. Threw a decoy just to, you know, throw them off. And then I ran back up here, just so I can take enemies out from a distance. I used my LMG just to, you know, use some ammo. I didn't want to just sit on it too much. So I used this. You can see I'm getting rid of these solar, you know, shielded, or not shield, but solar enemies there. And then here you can see the boss, and I was like, you know what, let me just use whatever I have left of his heavy since it's almost done. Let me just use my abilities on him as well, do some extra damage, and I knew it was pretty much guaranteed to get the one-hit kill right here pretty much. So boom, and then I went up here and just used my ability here. Again, pretty easy. That's the Lost Sector done. If you're farming this, good luck. It really is worth it to farm this one in my opinion. But that's going to do it for the video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Ring the bell so you don't miss another video. Drop a follow on my Twitch, twitch.tv/SmokeisJam0. I'm probably going to be going live later on today playing some Apex with that new Halloween update. I played it yesterday for a little bit. It was pretty fun. But that's going to do it for that. A playlist with my Season of the Witch Legend Lost Sector guides will be popping up on screen right now. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.